really. Like this, young lad, there's a picture of him sat there with his mum, and,
What? Carl!
well,
Carl!
I forget it.
It's impossible.
Well,
There must have been more to the story,
He
Carl.
can't not have a brain. Hearing and sight is a concept within the brain. That's all it is, right?
Yeah.
The ears are just receptacles. They're
Yeah.
just, So,
But that's why it was in this book. It was a book of mysteries.
Carl, if you're reading a book and you see a photo and you guess at what you think the story might be, that doesn't make it true. That doesn't make it
I
fact.
looked at it because I thought he looks like an happy lad.
Sure.
And I read about it and I thought, that's weird. Like you've said, the fact that he hasn't got a brain but he can see and he can hear.
no! Impossible!
Well,
Impossible.
okay.
Go on.
Well, I don't know who to believe. Listen, we haven't done it for a while. White Van Man. I thought
Yeah,
there's some
it's
interesting
bad,
questions
bad.
raised today, and I
Yeah.
think it might be nice to just throw them back.
I think we set Carl up again in the last hour as a person that people want to know
Yeah, they want
his
to know what he's
opinions
thinking.
on the
They wanna
world.
know what-
Yeah.
Well, if you're not familiar with it, on Saturdays, the Sun newspaper asks a typical white van driver questions his opinions on the week's news, and we thought we'd throw these in the direction of Carl.
Yeah.
And then, what do you make of this teenage thug, Carl, Mickey Carroll, who spent 4 months in jail and he's won 9.7 million on the lottery? Is that justice? When you think of all the good people that are going hungry, and there's a lad there and he's won.
Did he buy the ticket before he
9.7.
went in?
No, I think he bought it once he'd come out.
So he's done his time.
He's done his time.
Fair enough then. He's been punished.
Yeah.
Right. He's bought a ticket. He's had a lot of bad luck.
Mm-hmm.
Now he's having a bit of good luck.
Quite right.
Next one.
Are you concerned that now he's got all that money, he could turn into like a sort of mastermind villain? You know, like a James Bond style villain? He's got a criminal streak, we know that. Is that a concern for you?
Well, we
Imagine
don't.
that. He could build some kind of
don't-
underwater
We
fortress.
don't, with my lawyer's hat on, we don't know that.
Yeah, well. Well, he'd have to prove that he didn't have a criminal streak. I'd say you've been in jail for 4 months.
Yeah.
Sometimes people are bad because they haven't got any money, so he might be
Interesting
an
point.
angel of gold now. Or whatever the
Yeah.
saying is.
1 in 5 children aged between 11 and 16 go on booze binge sessions at least once a week. That's terrifying news, isn't it?
Kids, they know too much now.
Yeah.
You
Compared to you, yeah.
Despair.
I know, right?
Yeah.
Listen to this one, right?
Go on.
My dad had me niece in the car, right, running her to school one day, and she was in the back of the car with a mate, and they were chatting away about stuff like kids do. And they got onto the topic of one of the mates, who he said, I mean, you've got to remember, your niece, this point, was probably about 5 or 6, something like that, right? In the back of the car, talking about My Little Pony, whatever it is they play with. Subject changed. Oh, that Lisa in our class, she's a lesbian, isn't she?
Right.
That was that's what they were talking about.
Yeah.
Chatting away about it.
Just openly talking about
Yeah.
lesbianism.
And probably, this is the topic that they're talking about in the pub when they're having out drinking.
Yeah, but they might have thought a lesbian was a funny word or something. You don't necessarily know the ins and outs of it, do they?
He's weird though, isn't it? Because when I was younger at school, you didn't you swore a little bit, but it wasn't like major swear words, and you sort of did a little bit of nicking, but nothing like they get up to now. I mean,
My girlfriend, when she was about 7 or 8, just walked to school with her mum, and she called her a C-U-N, right?
you are Joe.
No, she said, because she thought it was she said she thought it was a big furry animal. She thought, so she was being nice, and I remember, where'd you do that? Like, just heard it at school. So they might not know what it means.
Well, I tell you, I'm gonna have to use kind of euphemisms here to tell this story, but when I was at school, I learned, the stronger version, it's not the same word, but it's very similar with one letter changed. I'm gonna use twit.
Yeah.
You know the word I'm thinking of.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna use the word twit to replace it, right? And I went round.
You think they're twat?
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking of. And, so can I say it? Am I allowed to say it?
No, it's weird though, because
No, hang on,
some people from Cornwall use that like saying twit. So if people listen in Cornwall,
Do you know what a twit is? A pregnant goldfish.
well,
Well, I learned the stronger version of twit.
Yeah.
Twat. For those that aren't sure. I learned this at school when I was like 10 or whatever, and I didn't know what it meant. I thought it was just a stronger version of twit.
Yeah.
I thought it was just if you were really annoyed with someone because they were a real twit.
Because I is worse than I.
Exactly, apparently. So, Carl would be a
Yeah.
twit. And so I started using this at home, because I didn't realise what it meant. I started using this at home, you twit, you're a twit, and saying it to my dad, you're a twit, you're not saying twit.
Yeah.
And my dad didn't know what it meant either.
That's great.
I can believe. So he started using it as well, right? So then we'd be driving in the car. He'd be saying to my mum, "You stupid." Say to my mum, "You don't pull over. You're gonna bum it, you twat." Saying this. Then I learned at school from Mark Johnson what it really meant.
Yeah.
Stopped using it. Obviously, finding out it was quite an offensive word.
Yeah.
I didn't want to bring it up to my dad. I didn't want to sit my dad down and say, "Dad, you know that word we've been saying?
Yeah.
You know what it means?" So now, to this day, I never brought it up with him. So we'll be driving, you know, I'll go in for Christmas, we'll be driving around, he'll be calling my mum that word. Left, right and centre. Or she's just upset, and she knows what it means, she goes, "Why does he keep calling me this terrible word?" But he's the only one, I think, in our family who doesn't know what it means. No one's got the guts to say. I don't know whether I should tell him this Christmas.
Oh, what a twat.
I know.
Good to hear that again.
Always good to hear that.
Suede. Animal nitrate. Carl was all flustered because there wasn't a record set up and he's getting all tizzy. He's been more worried about his competitions than sorting out putting records on ready. What?
I'm after Steve's song for a lover.
Well, I'll tell you what, why don't you carry on with your educating Ricky section? I'll have a look on the
We'll keep it going, Steve.
Yeah, you keep it
go on. Go on then, right, okay. We've had a few emails. Anyone got it right, Carl? Anyone got it?
Educating Ricky, that's the final one. We've got to get that out of the way.
We've got to get Rockbusters as well, though.
do that at the end, we can wait.
Go on then.
But we've only got 5 minutes left.
Come on, just do Educating Ricky.
Right. God. The last one that we haven't done is he's a bit of a nuisance.
Go on then.
Again, not really that interesting.
Thanks.
No, like, again, I spoke to you in the week, and I had much better things, like when I tell you about Brian Blessed climbing Everest, and for some reason it made him, it played havoc with his belly, and he followed through and he had to clean up.
Shat himself?
Yeah, using ice and snow.
Why are you telling me that Brian Blessed, in what way is telling me that Brian Blessed shit himself once in any way educational?
Because I was saying how he was climbing Everest, right? I give it to him, he's an actor and that, but he gave that a go.
Yeah.
Right? He played...
What's the point of that, you'd say, wouldn't you?
You'd say, God, he's you know...
So he's alright. Me doing a boxing match for no reason is rubbish, but him climbing Everest and shitting himself...
Yeah, he did that.
Is commendable.
Right, and he's only gonna, like, go and do it again. He's gonna climb it again.
Yeah, but he might not shit himself this time.
Yeah, what's the point in going? Nothing's changed up there.
Yeah, good point. Yeah,
Where's you been?
Well, it has. They've probably cleared it up by now. Right, but it's slip on it.
I can't even bother telling you this one, because...
Come on!
To be
Just
honest,
do it, or do it now!
Steve, how we doing?
Look, no, never mind that. Look, just tell me what that means. Oh, he's a nuisance. Oh, this is so annoying, Carl. I'm gonna go mental.
Right,
talk.
Right, listen, I'm just putting this in here, right? Right, nuisance is a bit of a nuisance.
Yeah.
Apparently, the old fella who used to hang people... Yeah. He used to be able to tell somebody's weight just by looking at them. Right? That's a bit of a bonus fact.
We'll be the judge of that.
The thing that I wanted to tell you is, money for old rope, do you know what I'm saying? I can't even be bothered.
Yes, you're gonna tell me now. Come on, Carl. I mean it.
Basically, money for old rope came from the... right.
What was all that about? He can tell someone's weight. What was
The
that
bonus
for?
fact.
And Brian Blessed shitting himself. What are you... What? No, don't you... No, tell me that now. You nearly made me swear then. I'm getting really annoyed. I'm getting really annoyed now. Tell me this back, Carl, or I'm gonna go mental. Come on, Carl. Time's running out.
More that people, years ago, when people used to be hung, right?
Right.
If you didn't like the person who's been hung, you'd go, God, I really don't like him. And so you never forget the
Presumably
time...
if they're being hung, we take that as read.
Yeah. So they never forget, afterwards, to get the hangman to get the rope and to cut it up into little pieces, and he'd sell them. He'd sell the little pieces of the rope to people.
See, Carl, that's the most interesting thing, if it's true, that you've come up with.
Right, okay. And so so they sell the rope?
They sell the rope, and it's money for old rope.
Money for old rope.
Meaning, like, you know, God, it's easy to make money, that all I have to do is cut it up and sell it.
I'm cynical.
I'm not so convinced.
Right, listen, we're really tight. We haven't even got time for a last joke. We've got an ad break and we've got to give out...
Okay, give the answers then. This is ridiculous.
So, Steve, do you want to pick a winner?
I've got a winner when you give us the answers.
Okay, so the first clue was, that army has got some well nice trenches.
Yeah.
That was DW.
Who's that?
Dandy Warhols.
That's brilliant. That's Brilliant.
Alright?
That's good, yeah.
The second one, the top of them curtains are wrecked, all the material is worn.
Yeah.
HV, that's Holly Valance.
Oh, he got a phone call for a woman saying that I haven't heard it, and he was talking to her off air, and she went, what is it? So them's curtains. She went, alright. He said, you know the thing around the top of the curtain is a Palmet, not a Valance, and he went, cut her off.
Yeah, but my auntie's always making balances on everything. I'll tell you about that next week. Right?
I'm looking forward to that.
Right.
Is this the one that farted for 5 minutes?
Yeah, the very same.
Yeah.
Right? So, we'll talk about that. I was in Texas, I tripped up, I landed on my knees in a puddle, WH,
Yeah.
wet knee Houston. Right?
Wet knee Houston.
Yeah. So,
You're a maniac.
So, who's a winner?
We've got Pete, Catherine and Laura in Newcastle upon Tyne. They're listening online, I assume, and they
on
can
Sky
get
Digital.
those great places. And remember, they got loads of stuff. They got the DVD here. They got Linda Green. They got Stone Roses. They got another compilation and Executive Decision.
What did you read about Brian Blessed? Is it actually true, or have you lied with
No,
someone else?
it was an interview with him in it.
And what did he say? Come on, what did he say?
He said I climbed Everest and I played havoc with me belly. Let's talk about it next week. We've really run out now.
Oh, you're a fool. Foo Fighters, All My Life on XFM 104.9. I'm Ricky Gervais with me, Steve Merchant, and Carl Pilkington.
Indeed.
Genius Carl Pilkington, as
Yes.
Heat magazine said.
Really? Is that what
Yeah.
he's referred to now?
Yeah,
Huh?
yeah. Genius. Saying about people tune in just to hear his games,
Yeah.
such as Educating Ricky. Have you got some Educating Ricky for me?
Got some education.
I need some education, Carl.
That's
I desperately need some education. I want to learn about Chinese kids that are born hairier than average. I want to hear about deaf girls that can hear after their mum hits their head against a wall. These are the things I need to know.
I mean, I don't wish to be disrespectful. He doesn't look like a genius.
He doesn't look like
But then I
genius.
don't know what a genius looks like.
Exactly.
So,
Steve.
you know, I don't want to be an
Look at Einstein.
Yeah.
Yeah.
His mum thought he was mental as a child.
Where'd you get that information from?
That was in the Einstein book.
Well, it was in the Einstein book, then it's presumably true.
Which Einstein book is that? His Theory of Relativity?
The big book of Einstein stuff.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, the big bumper book of Einstein stuff. It's
Yeah,
for a
yeah,
coach
yeah.
trip, and you have to fill in E equals MC1 squared, 2 fish, or 3 hello, and then it's multiple choice.
Yeah.
And you
B, mental.
most people go for A, but it is in fact B. She thought he was mental at the age of 28. Oh, Carl, you never let me down. You never let me down. So have you got Educating Ricky for me?
We've got Educating Ricky coming up.
We've got Rockbusters.
We've got Rockbusters.
Some great
As seen and talked about in Heat.
In Heat magazine.
It's got really tough this week now. We're not messing about anymore.
Right.
Got some good prizes.
Absolutely, yeah, we'll talk about those later.
Alright.
Because, I mean, was it last week that you had the classic? Was it, I can't remember, I'm paraphrasing, Carl, apologies. Something like, I'm here in Texas, I've fallen in a puddle, and my knee has got wet.
Yeah. Wet Knee Houston.
Whitney Houston.
Yeah.
Also, it was last week when there was a little bit of confusion over the one for Holly Valance. Right?
Of course. I don't think it was confusion, I think it was your error.
Yeah.
No, it wasn't.
And it was
because-
Holy Valance, and you meant Pelmet.
Then Becky, who called up that time and said, "Oh, if you're getting mistaken with Pelmet," right? She sent me an email in a week saying, "I've done a bit of research. It was my fault. I've made an error.
Yeah.
It is a Valance."
Okay.
And I know about Valances, as I told you last week. At the very end, my auntie loves them.
Yeah.
Right? She makes them. She started off just like putting them on top of the sort of window around the curtain. And then she thought, oh, I can do more with this. And she had a little coffee table that had magazines underneath, and she said, I'm sick of seeing them magazines when I'm sat down.
She sounds like a Pilkington.
So,
I'm sick of seeing them magazines when I sit down.
so she put a Valance on the table.
Yeah.
Just got balances around everything now.
Then, next step, she tapes everything. She never actually watches telly. She tapes it all because she gets sick of listening to the adverts and that.
Yeah.
So she tapes everything. So she's got loads of videotapes and that. And the video used to get on her nerves. When she was watching a film, she'd see the clock changing.
Oh.
And it distracted her from the film. So she put a Valance around that.
That's genius.
Yeah.
So,
That is really.
Or is it mental? Only
I
Mrs.
don't know.
Einstein can tell.
I don't know. She's even made a little Jack Russell look like a hovercraft.
Yeah.
if you
He's
stand still,
great.
that's
So
it.
everything's got a balance.
If you go round and you stand still for too long, the chances are you get
She'll
a
put a
balance around your
balance
head.
This is this is Auntie Who,
And Nora,
and this is the one that farted for 5 minutes.
She did.
Lest our listeners forget.
Lest we
farted
forget.
for 5 minutes. Called his mum, saying I'm farting. 2 minutes into the fart.
she said about 2.5 minutes in.
She said I'm about 2.5 minutes into
Well,
the
my
pot.
mum said, how long's it been going on for? She said, well, it was about 2.5 minutes before I called you.
Yeah.
And then it went on for a further 2.5 minutes or something. And then it stopped. And,
She couldn't type right because there was a balance over the clock.
Yeah, she
Because it used to
couldn't
annoy
type
her
it,
when she was
yeah.
on the phone and you put her off the
So
time.
it was
she was guessing it was 5 minutes.
This was one consistent fart.
yeah. I mean, it wasn't making a noise, it was just...
Oh, it wasn't making a noise.
just gas.
Right, endless gas.
So, there you
That's
go.
fantastic. Well, we started off with a new one, a little bit of Foo Fighters. We like new and old on this show, don't
Indeed,
we?
we like to mix it up.
I'd like to play the Smiths from their debut album, I Don't Owe You Anything. I Don't Owe You Anything. The lads from Carl's hometown there.
Indeed.
The Smiths. Brilliant, that one. Wow, I went to Manchester, didn't I, the other day? Went up to Manchester for a
What did
little
you make of
corporate. It was alright.
Yeah.
He went, wait till you get out. You see Piccadilly, it's better than Euston.
Right.
It was. You know, it was nicer. And went outside, and there was a ridiculous queue, and sort of one cab.
Right, yeah.
So,
Horse-drawn.
yeah.
Yeah.
And so I walked, and it was okay. It was only down the road. It was a bit dark. It was wet and raining. of
Obviously,
course.
it's the north.
I know, yeah. The hotel was very nice, but no minibar. I've never seen that before. I've travelled all over the world seeing them in a hotel without a minibar.
No,
So I
I've
don't know
never
what's
heard
going on then. I don't know what's going on there. And then I did this corporate gig in Old Trafford. The pitch was up, don't know what they were doing, but, you know, very impressive. Big impressive. I think they're British football club, aren't they, Carl?
Yeah.
You did a gig at where?
Old Trafford. It was in a function room
Oh,
there.
well, I
for
thought it
a-
was the stadium.
No,
Incredible.
I'm not that big yet. No. But I mean, you know, I can't really comment on Manchester. I do know that Liverpool was voted most important music city via poll.
True enough.
So, Carl, you're making noises while I'm talking.
Yeah, but you do this all the time trying to wind me up. And I'm not saying Manchester's the best place in the world, but what I'm saying is, there's bits of it that I really miss.
Yeah.
Like last Sunday, right? When I'd met up with Ricky, we had spaghetti bolognese, which was alright. And then I said to her, I need some soil.
Damn, I wish you'd invited me. It sounds amazing.
So I need some soil. What do you think?
You need some what? Soil?
Soil, yeah.
I need to repot a plant, right?
Yeah.
So
You need to repot a plant?
Yeah.
Oh, fair enough.
So I'm like, where you can't see these shops in London. Do you
can't
know what I mean?
buy
There's nothing around.
I took him straight to one in my street.
Yeah, but near your street, and that's probably the only one in London.
Well, you say that, Carl.
No, it does annoy me. Round my way, it's like, you know...
You can't move for soil shops.
You can't- There's earth. You can just pick up handfuls walking down the street.
Incredible.
Which
People
is-
just lean over into someone's front garden. You
Yeah.
can take the plants
Yeah.
as well.
No,
Yeah.
what I'm saying is,
Go on.
Manchester, there's loads of decent hardware shops.
Yeah.
Here, you know, if you want a panini and a latte or whatever, you can't move from 'em. But for soil, I had to go virtually how many miles away from me to carry that soil home and stuff.
Yeah.
It's not good. I mean, London's alright, but if cities were sort of...
It's neglecting the peat market, really,
Well,
isn't
there's barely any mulch available Rick, in central London.
I'm sick and tired of not getting a good decent compost of a Sunday.
Indeed.
So,
It's sick
you
and
know,
to me.
I'm thinking of moving to the north, where there is loads of soil and gravel
Indeed.
and animal shite.
whatever.
Yeah.
So,
Sorry, you were going to say if you're marking cities out of 10, what would you give London?
Well, if you were marking them on, like, you know, on what they have,
Right.
as opposed to what?
well, as opposed to...
How
the
you
name.
spell it?
Say, like, I think the greatest city in the world is Rome. Right,
Okay.
it's pretty amazing.
Yeah.
Have you been?
What? Yeah. Why do you think that though?
Just because, like, you turn a corner and there's something there that's really old. Right? Like, you're going down Normal Street.
Go and stay in a Derby and Joan club.
Yeah.
No, but it's like you're going down the road and then you turn a corner and like the Colosseum's in the middle of a busy road. It's like in another corner.
It's almost as if that was there first.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
But do you know what I mean? London,
Yeah.
what have we got? you know, Trafalgar Square's world known. You go there, what's there?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So there's a lot of space there. Get one big B&Q
In Trafalgar Square.
to cater for the whole of people who live sort of central Londonish.
Yeah, yeah.
And then I'd be happy. But what I'm saying
What with
is,
Nelson just popping up through the middle? Because you can still see it, couldn't you?
Yeah. It's a great idea.
B&Q, so B&Q could be like the whole sort of flat thing and make it sort of grey so it looked like rock, and then Nelson popping
Make it
up.
classy is what you're saying.
Yeah. Stone clad it.
Yeah.
So it looks like you've made an effort.
Exactly.
And then you can pop in, and then you can go out and go, oh look, Nelson's column. Oh look at that, isn't Nelson, oh look at that, the victory.